Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer here. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Particularly want to thank our $20 tier supporters over at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Jeremy Alexander, Samantha Bates, Cat Waterflame, and L, without whom we wouldn't be able to do nearly as many matches of the things we do now. So, thank you for your support over the years. And if you're watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Stardust RPG on Trails of Stardust, the Godsblood Crisis. I am William Orshani, and I am your game master for this 5th edition campaign. And joining me once again today, we have Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Till Wayland, the Avian Way of the Iron Path monk, and now in charge of this whole nonsense. Oh boy, this will only end well.
Yep. And Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Kendall Fairchild, Eladrin Warlock.
And
you get in roll 20.
Sen.
Sen, and I'm playing Koltarn, the orc master maker, and second in command / person that keeps the ship running of the Dust Knights. And don't worry, Jack, Till is just as in charge of the Dust Knights as Varush was, which is to say, nominally?
Varush had principles against shooting bees.
That's a sentence you just said, yes. And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Mistel, Infarin Rogue, and person who will prevent Till from shooting bees.
Excellent.
And we are not likely to have Craig tonight, who would normally be playing bees, the person who would be threatening to get shot. And as always, Black Lives Matter. I almost said Black Lives are human because I started mixing.
I mean, that's also valid. That's also fair.
It's not a wrong statement.
No.
Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. Eat the rich. And this stream may be powered by Sirenscape. Who knows?
We'll see what happens.
Also, Ashlyn won't be joining us for a while. Which
yes,
is why
Ashlyn will not be joining us for the immediate future. Who knows?
Not on the
how long
overlay.
it will be.
There's like 3 people that will eventually be rejoining the game that aren't currently, so.
Yeah. There are 3 people who will potentially join us in the future.
We have seats saved for them.
Yes. But when last we left the Dust Knights. Keep wanting to say Dusk Knights. Wrong word.
Dust. We're covered in dirt. Because when last we left the Dirt Knights.
When last we left the Dust Knights, they had just said farewell to their longtime teammate and nominal leader, Varush Al-Rul, as he had been recalled to his work among the orders of the Void Keepers. And with that, the group rested for the evening, got a bit of work done, did some talking, and elected a new leader in the form of Till Wayland, who seems upset at the prospect of having been placed in charge.
Not upset. Apprehensive.
But with that, we continue on in the morning as the group continues the second day of their journey to a town whose very records have been erased.
But we have coordinates.
You do have coordinates to its last known location.
Since Varush is no longer in the gun turret, I guess I'll be there.
Okay. Bees and Mistel are in the back seat. Till's up front with Kendall, who is driving. Yep. Like a madwoman, like she does.
Driving Driving as taught by dwarves.
How, like, in terms of the environment in which we find ourselves, are we on, like, some level of a space overland interstate? Are we on back roads? Where are we at this point?
You are basically on the interstate, but again, this is Fallen Thornwood. It was originally colonized by natural order, so interstate is basically a section of grass and wood that grows naturally in the form of a road that separates itself from the rest of the environment around.
Are there any other vehicles or people we've passed, or is it just us?
There's light traffic. It seems like most people who are driving anywhere are driving towards the capital city of Hybark. Whereas the rest of the towns on this planet are relatively smaller. Hybark is the trade hub of Fallen Thornwood, which is itself a trade hub in the galactic sense. So the majority of the planet's population lives there. However, you do have small towns that exist elsewhere on the planet. And like, if you were to compare the entire planet to Georgia, Hybark is Atlanta. You are driving out into Monroe.
Wow, not even Athens. Okay. Shit. Till keeps his ears pricked for banjo music and is concerned. Well, in that case, Till's just gonna try and keep his head on a swivel and eyes out for. He hasn't been on Fallen Thornwood in a minute, and honestly, he probably didn't spend any time outside Hybark last time he was here. So this is all unknown territory for him.
Yeah.
Mistel's been fairly quiet. She seems even more depressed than she was, and just sitting in the back with some bees around her.
Bees is doing his best to help cheer Mistel up, but obviously does not fully understand Mistel or how to cheer her up.
I'm just gonna duck out of the turret, just sort of lean forward towards the front. How much further does our navigation say we have to go? Because there's not a lot of things to do here.
Oh. What's the answer to that?
You've probably got about 4 hours of drive before you get where you're going.
Not too long. We're good. We should be like, I don't know, 3 hours.
Please tell me Kendall was actively texting while saying that.
Probably.
Eyes on the road, please, Miss Fairchild.
Have I crashed yet?
Yes.
It only
twice.
takes once.
Have I crashed yet in ways that were my fault? No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
If you count small animal casualties, yes. Which on Fallen Thornwood, I feel like they do.
Yeah, so no, we're good.
The awkward silences of the Dust Knights.
I will.
I
don't remember if I was working on anything, so I'm just gonna go back up and wait.
Yeah.
Do we have any sort of map access
Of
with
what?
like navigation?
Map
just
of what?
The general area. Like, obviously, this location has been redacted. There's a little bit of a blank spot on the map. Is there like an interstate exit, effectively, or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, there's an exit off the main road that sort of heads to where the location should be, and then
Right. Okay. All right. So this isn't like we're going to have to just pull off on the side of the highway and start hiking necessarily.
No.
Okay.
Like, it looks like whatever this place was, it was at one point a town that had
Right.
roads that connected it to the rest of the
Mhm.
world. Now it's a place that you don't go.
Does Till have-
Coltarn, from a tactical perspective,
Yeah.
do you think just driving straight in is going to be our best bet?
Unless something has removed the town itself, yes.
All
We
right.
don't know what to expect, so approaching stealthily isn't going to be useful because we don't know what we're trying to hide from or if we're trying to hide at all. It could be something as benign as a virus. It could be intentional. It could be something significantly more sinister. With no information, going in as openly as possible is our best method, as far as I can see.
Excellent. All right. And Till's passive perception is 20, for what that's worth. So he's just trying to keep an eye out for stuff.
Does Till have a data pad?
That is an excellent question. No, I don't think so. He has a comm device, but I do not think he has a data pad.
That'll work. After like an hour of just silent writing, you get a beep on your data pad. You've been challenged to play Marvel Snap or whatever the equivalent would be.
I like the idea that it's just Marvel Snap.
Just Marvel Snap.
Till plays a demolition deck with Null as his 6 cost. So
Monster.
what?
Coltarn plays a random assortment of cards and somehow manages to win pretty frequently with it.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
So you use my strategy then.
Yeah, exactly.
Theme? What is a theme deck?
My theme is that these characters do very well when teamed up together in the comics.
Here's the thing. My Jack over here also apparently plays a null deck.
It's a good one. As we dip into mobile gaming for just a moment.
A few hours pass. And eventually the vehicle turns off of a main road onto a small side road and begins to drive down into the location of what should be a town. And as you arrive, Kendall, as you drive down a road, you see a town. Large, like medium-sized houses. It looks like a small out-of-the-way town in the middle of nowhere. There are like assortments of trees and shrubs and like big buildings sort of spread out on like sort of a vague grid arrangement. You can see what looks to be a town hall in the distance. This looks like any other small town that you've ever been to.
Standard architecture for Fallen Thornwood?
Roughly, yeah.
Grown structures, that sort of thing?
Are there people?
That was going to be my follow-up question.
Yeah, the big thing that you notice as you look around is you don't see a lot of people. Certainly not as many as this town looks like it supports. You do see someone occasionally like walking over, like feeding, like watering plants. Someone will occasionally walk out, walk back in. And like you see a small handful of people going about daily business. This does not seem like even half of these buildings are inhabited, though.
Uh-huh.
Is there an obvious town hall?
Yes, there is a town hall.
I'll just drop down out of the turret seat and indicate we should go there first and see if we can gather any information.
Yeah, it looks fairly central. I assume when we rolled in, there was not a welcome to Name Town sign or anything like that.
Actually, there was. And it specifically said, "Welcome to Reyesfeld."
How do you spell that?
I mean,
Also,
the normal way.
Yeah, okay.
To clarify, say it's like any small town that Kendall's ever been to. I don't think that's probably the case.
To be fair, yes, Kendall probably hasn't been to many small towns.
Hasn't been to many small towns, and the ones that she has have probably been less towns and more like resorts and country clubs that happen to have a lot of people that live in them.
To be fair, yeah, and the only small town that we've confirmed that you have been to in this game has been Nocturna.
Right. So she's driving. Where are we going? Sorry,
The town hall right over there.
Large structure there.
town hall. What's
Yes.
that?
It's the big central structure. Till just point at it. It's the big central structure. They usually do administrative duties out of one of those.
Oh, that's not the Starbucks. Okay.
Coltarn, if you've still got access to planetary networks, can you search for Reyesveld and see if that brings up anything now that we've got a sign?
Do I still have access to the planetary network?
Yeah.
I'll do a general information search for Reyesveld.
Anything you search for doesn't come up.
No, it seems like as had been indicated previously, all informational records on the town have been removed.
All right. Well, might not be a localized thing then if we still can't access them while we're, inside the bounds of said town.
Well, the indication had been that the information had been removed from the planetary network. That's the only network I can access right now. So.
All right. The other possible option is that might have been a new name.
Certainly, but no.
But if that's not coming up with anything, it's probably the one that got removed. Oh, look.
I will.
So Kendall,
I'm gonna
bureaucracy.
I'm gonna just do a very generic description data packet back to the ship. And just mark that as something for just basically sending it to whatever file or folder or data device that we had set up for what's his name to monitor
Xander.
for Xander to monitor, and then a secondary message after that letting him know that data we've arrived and that data will be beginning to be populated into the folder. Keep an eye on it.
The one thing you do notice is that occasionally the road seems to be slightly uneven, and you don't notice anything like when you're driving on it, but like the hover vehicle like actively like dips occasionally as it tries to adjust for what seems to be like uneven spots on the road.
And so Kendall will pull directly up to like the front fucking door. And stop and get out. Yeah.
Yep.
Stop and get out. Look around, like holding out the keys as if waiting for someone to come up and take them.
Till will take them.
Where's the...
I'll get out of
They probably don't have one of those here, Miss Fairchild.
Oh.
What are you looking for?
I mean, valet.
What's a valet?
It's someone who parks your car when you arrive at places.
Why would they do that?
I'm afraid in this particular
Why can't you park your own car?
We'll need to park the car ourselves.
Because you get there and then you go in and somebody parks the car for you.
You can park the car yourself and then walk in.
Or you can pull right up and looks at Till like, help.
I go into the town hall while they're having this discussion.
It's a service of convenience in a lot of places, Mistle. And when individuals of a certain social class show up to a location, other people take care of basic duties for them so that they can use their time to do whatever it was they came to do. It's a customer service sort of thing, I suppose. Also, it provides the service workers the opportunity to steal valuables out of the vehicle to supplement their own incomes, since they are usually wildly underpaid.
That helps at least.
That's why you don't leave anything valuable in your cars.
Do you not tip, Miss Fairchild?
Oh, of course I tip.
I mean, from a certain perspective, it's simply another means of tipping.
She's rich. She's not a monster.
You're right. Look, the entire point of a valet is a new middleman. But if you leave the valuables in the car, it sort of cuts out the middleman in having to hand them your tip as well.
That allows you to give what you want and not what they're going to take. Like, it's just more convenient for everybody. They don't have to fence it. You don't have to. I mean,
you don't have to file a police report.
Or pretend to your mom and dad that it just got lost.
Right.
Yeah, looking vaguely confused, then she walks in.
Till will put the vehicle in neutral and like push it down the curb a little bit and then follow and then go in with everybody else. Just so that it's not sitting on the steps of the town hall.
Yeah, and you park the vehicle and sort of walk up the steps and make your way over into the town hall, which is, as you walk into the interior, it's a small town hall. Like it is it looks like it is combination like town hall and library. Like there are areas for administration. There are also bookshelves everywhere, sort of like lining all of the walls, or shelves upon shelves of books and literature. In like at the front desk is a human woman who is sort of like her like short black hair pulled back into a bun. She has like a little bit of a loose lock on one side, and she's like looking down through a pair of glasses, just typing something into a computer, looking down at a sheet of paper that's in front of her, and just sort of going back and forth.
That first barrier of bureaucracy that every official building always has. A woman in her mid-40s to early 50s. Who can absolutely make your life miserable should she so choose.
You again.
I had gone in ahead of the rest of them. Has she just completely ignored me this entire time?
I mean, it's like the group of you enter, you're slightly ahead of the others, and she sort of looks up for a second. Welcome to the town hall and library. You don't look like you're from around here. How can I help?
Oh, there's a library too?
Dispatch from, oh God, what, sorry, what was the town we came from?
Highbark.
Highbark.
Yeah. Yes, we've been Colton of the Dust Knights. We've been dispatched from the Highbark, from the Core Adventurers Guild. It seems that the planetary database has been having its information regarding the town of Raysveld forcibly removed or deleted.
Just gonna come right out and say it, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to see how she reacts.
Plus, Coltarn thinks this is just a computer virus.
Well, I think it could be a computer virus. We were just coming to investigate and see if this was a known quantity or not.
Huh. That's certainly unusual. I may have to send some data bursts back over to Highbark and see if anything can be corrected. If assuming the database has gone corrupt, might as well check in on it.
Insight. Does this woman know what's going on? God damn it. I'm using an inspiration. 19.
I'll give that a try too, just for fun, which won't work.
Nope.
Accurate.
Kendall's like, what's a library?
She knows very well what a library is.
Oh, okay, good.
She just doesn't read people well at all.
To most of you, she looks like a secretary doing her job. To Till, um, she seems visibly like genuinely confused about the idea of the database being like gone, and she's like, make a note of that. Fill that out sometime later in my shift.
We're also investigating a potential family connection that one of our number may have here in the area. Given that this is a combination library and civic administration, have there been any reports of Invarans in the area?
Yes, I believe a small couple of families did come by recently, and I think they hadn't been set up with a home yet. I believe, well, to be fair, according to Invaran culture, as far as I understand it, they don't really need much in the way of a house. They tend to appreciate just the small forests around town to sort of find places to stay in. So I suspect if they're anywhere, they're probably in the woods nearby.
Is there a town ranger or forest keeper that might be able to help us with that?
I mean, not as such, generally. Far as most people would be concerned, Atala would be the most wandered person. She runs the smithy, and is the one most people rely on when they need something, when they need physical assistance done. Whenever she's not operating the smith.
Obviously, as we're new in town, would you be able to point us in the direction of the smithy?
Yes, actually, you are on the right street. Here on the main street, you can find most of the businesses that run through here. There's, of course, the church for non-denominational for any followers of whichever deities you wish to worship on. There is the Blackfire Smithy, which is just past the church. There is the General Grocer, Born and Bred, run by Borovic. There is the clinic run by Tamith. The barbershop is run by Vikram, Sheer Delight. There is the general store run by Oda, who has named it the well-stocked one-stop shop. And then
Say that 3 times fast.
Eligible runs So What, the clothing store. And that's generally the stores that you'll find on the main street. There's also the antique shop, run by Zook, who will be happy to show you any antiques that you wish to know about.
Antiquing a big pursuit in these parts.
Oh, there's many ways to pass the time in a small town like this, antiques being one thing that many people are enamored by at times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much for the information. We'll be in town probably for a few days, just investigating whatever's going on with the network. So,
of course,
There...
if you need a place to stay, there is the tavern and inn just a couple of minutes south of the main street, which is Dreams and Drams, which would be a place to stay for the evening.
Is there a mayor or anybody of that sort that we should introduce ourselves to, make it known that we've showed up and might be in the area for a few days, or?
You know, funny thing about Reyesveld is, despite existing for some time, I don't think we've ever had a mayor.
No.
I mostly do secretarial business and keep the library running.
Yeah.
But town is small enough, not much is needed in the way of a mayor.
Is there someone in a role of authority here?
I think I'm the closest thing to it, honestly.
And I don't think any of us got your name. I apologize.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm Vera.
Nice to meet you. All right. Well, thank you so much for that information. We'll be on our way.
On the way in, I didn't see anything that resembled like a data storage or anything like that, did I?
Not really. There's a bit of computer work, like the computer she's working on, but it does seem like this town still operates largely on paper.
Yeah. Well then, we'll be sure to ask if you have any additional questions and if you need any assistance with anything else while we're in town, please feel free to let us know.
And of course, if you have any need of it, you're welcome to search the library for any information that might be useful. Most of our town documents are public information if you wish to look through them. I understand that the database has gone corrupt, so paper copies of everything should be helpful.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I may actually avail myself of that later in the day just to do some testing, but thank you. I will
Very well. Let me know if you need any assistance.
nod politely and turn to look at the others and just indicate with my head and start walking out the door.
Let's check with Atala, see if we can get a lead on Mistel's relatives. If that's all right with you, Mistel.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And then we'll see if anything else is going on. Just so you know, I will be asking pretty much everybody we meet in town a series of probably the same questions to see what's going on and if their stories match up.
Certainly.
All right.
I'm actually, so that we can be a little bit efficient here. It doesn't seem to be particularly dangerous, at least at the moment. I will stay here and do some data uploads of my own back to the ship, and monitor some data traffic. Also, probably get a few copies back to the city and see what happens when it gets uploaded there. Since they have everything in paper, it might take me a little while to digitize things.
All right.
If you would like to go investigate Mistel's family, well, I do that.
Sounds
Pursue
good.
both things at the same time.
We'll collect you if we need to go afield and need the full contingent, and he'll just kind of wave his communicator towards you. All right. Miss Fairchild, Mistel, please. Let's go check with this Atala at the smithy.
Okay.
All right. Miss Fairchild, I may rely on you for diplomatic purposes should any negotiations be required.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And yeah, head down the street and start looking for, what was it? The something.
The Blackfire Smithy.
Blackfire. There we go.
Yeah, and I'll head back into the library actually, and basically what I'm going to do is I can make an investigation check if you'd like. But I am gathering up very basic data, the sort of thing that would have been corrupted, sending a data packet to the ship, to that same data file that we're monitoring, and then sending some back to the Core Adventurers League for upload in the city, or Core Adventurers Guild for upload in the city, and asking them to let me know if anything seems off with the data, and to check it again in a few hours and let me know if anything seems off with the data then. Just basically doing very thorough but very boring database reinforcement, security checking, etc., etc., etc.
All right. So roll me an investigation check real quick. Just want to see how much you're paying attention to what you're looking at.
Any sort of advantage for utilizing Toolbar and the extensive sort of planning that we've done?
Toolbar, I believe, gives you a minimum roll.
Yeah, minimum 10.
So you have that.
Okay. Investigation. Although he gives me minimum 10 with technology specifically, but didn't mean to send that to the GM, but that is a 15.
Yep. So a couple of things you notice as you look through the information. You're sort of pulling up census data and like town records. For one, as you sort of look through the census information, you realize that this town at last count should have had like a couple hundred people in it. Like this town should be bustling.
Yeah.
But you've seen maybe a dozen so far in the entire time that you passed through here. The other thing is you find that there was a mayor. Like you find immediate record of Mayor Andrus, who is like literally last week was recorded on documentation.
I forward that to the rest of the group while I'm doing my data checking.
As you check all this data and send it out, all of you get a hit on whatever communication devices you have that just has a blank file on it. And you get back after sending your data out, Coltarn. Not sure what's going on, but all the information that you sent with that file is empty.
Sorry, what was that, Johnny?
So the thing that you get back from the core from the CAL is not sure what's going on, but everything you sent in that information burst is empty.
I still didn't get the end of that sentence.
Is
It's
empty.
Empty. Thank you. Does Xander get back to me at all?
The pictures you sent him, he says I've received pictures, but
I also sent him copies of all the data as well.
oh yeah. So like the you get back the data you sent has been blank, but the pictures are there. Man, that place looks fucked up. You hear?
Oh, not every place is urban. So in that case, I am going to call Till.
You get a phone call from Till.
Go for Wayland.
I tried to send some data, but it seems like it might not have gone through. Whatever's happening is happening on the local side. It's simply devouring or eating all information that's going outward, except for pictures, it seems. Also, I'm finding that there should be several hundred people here, and that they have a mayor.
Do we have a name?
Name.
Mayor Alden, but it's the name's not relevant to be real.
Okay. Interesting. Like records indicate currently they have a mayor?
As of last week.
Last week. All right.
Much more.
We'll make some inquiries.
Yes, much sooner than never.
Seems to be. Yeah.
I'm going to continue looking through this data and seeing if anything goes out, but right now, picture seems to be the only thing.
Fascinating.
Cut to a frame of Till on the phone, and in the background, Kendall is taking selfies.
There you go.
And posting them.
With that information, also, I'm going to start rather than digitizing, or rather than typing out, I'm just going to start taking like full-on data scans, like scanning pages rather than typing.
Image scan, yeah.
Image scanning the papers and sending that.
Yeah. So as you send it, you find that. So as you do experimentation, the things that you learn are anything that is knowledge, like even images of words, is gone by being sent. The images are there, all the knowledge in them is gone.
So like if I send a picture of the Welcome to Town board,
it's just a blank sign. Yeah.
The sign is blank.
Yeah.
Is it blank when I take the picture?
No, like as far as you can tell, it looks like a regular sign.
Okay.
Like even looking back at all the pictures you've taken, they look normal.
Yeah, so I'm probably spending a few hours just testing and finding that out. So We can follow them now.
Should take pictures of the people too. See what happens there.
Oh, I will. like if I take if I just from the back from the library when whatever her name the librarian / secretary person is not paying
Vera.
attention to me, just have Tollbarn in my eye, just do some screenshots and then see what happens to that data.
It all seems fairly uniform. Like, as far as you're looking at it, it looks to be there. Anything you send does not carry any knowledge with it.
Yeah. Does it carry images of the people?
Yeah.
Or a person? Okay. All right. Cool. Yep. So that's me for the next few hours.
Kendall, your space Instagram is getting plenty of posts. They're like, wow, that place looks awful. What a dump. Looks very run down.
It's like hashtag roughing it, hashtag glamping.
Question.
Actually, that's a good point. Is there any captions going through at all?
I mean, the vaguest and not really descriptive captions are going through, just hi, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere,
right.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Question. Xander said that the town looked pretty shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look shitty to us?
It looks pretty normal. It looks like an average small town.
Yeah. No, Till is unaware of any of this going on, but yes, Jack the player definitely clocked that bit.
I'll also then.
So I look at the comments and then I look at the picture and I look behind me.
It looks like a normal small town to you.
There's no difference between the picture and there.
No, not really.
Okay.
Not as far as you can tell.
I mean, honestly, Kendall's not going to think that's weird because it does look kind of like shit.
To her,
in that
absolutely.
In that it's normal and not like, yeah.
I'm gonna ask. Sorry, one more thing, and this will be at the tail end of my however many hours because it'll have taken Colin that long to think of it. I'm gonna ask Xander to take a picture of the pictures that I sent him, so a separate file entirely, and send that back to me.
When he does, what you see is what you would expect to see based on all the information you see. You see all the images he sends you look the same as you see them, but with all the information gone.
So it doesn't look notably worse.
Not really.
I'd like to disbelieve the illusion.
Eh?
I figured
What
I'd
illusion?
try.
As far as Xander is basically doing the equivalent of taking a photo of the Amazon code on your screen and texting that to you.
Right, yeah. No, what I mean is disbelieve the illusion of the town around me.
Based on what I was gonna say, based on what information that Coltard has.
No, it's fine.
But anyway, walking into Blackfire Smithy.
Yeah, you walk into the smithy.
Who do we meet, if anybody?
So in the interior is a dwarven woman who seems to be operating the blacksmith's bellows. She has long, orange hair in a variety of braids. There are tools and weapons and armor hanging from everything. The smith that she's operating is a unique combination of old-fashioned and high-tech. The bellows that she's operating in mostly seems to be for smelting ore down, but most of the ore itself is actually shaped in a very complex series of machinery that works with the raw metal and shapes it into various forms. You can see that she's forming a longsword at the moment, which is being sharpened down to a molecular edge that is sort of being shaped down out of the raw materials that she's got to work with.
Hello there.
Hi.
Welcome in. Welcome to the Blackfire Smithy. Name's Atala.
Nice to meet you. We're new to town, as you probably know.
Welcome to Raysfeld.
Thanks. We're doing some investigations in the area. My friend Mistel here believes that some of her family or relatives might have stopped by or been in the area recently. Have you seen any other Environs about?
Oh, aye. Couple of families of Environs came by a couple of months ago, I think, roughly. And sort of settled down in the area. They tend to stick to the forest. Haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, but I mean, I think to be fair, I've seen a little bit of their passing as I walk through the forest occasionally, but I haven't actually spoken to them recently. Seems like they've been sort of hiding for some reason. Don't know why.
Interesting. Kind of looks at Mistel to see if there's any thoughts or considerations that way.
She seems confused and still just a little depressed.
We were hoping to speak with the mayor as well, but we stopped by town hall and it seemed like he was out. Do you know where he's living right now?
Can't say as we ever had a mayor, as far as I'm aware.
My mistake. I must have gotten confused on something.
Hold on just a second. I'm looking in features.
It's real weird in this small town.
Welcome to Twin Peaks Stardust Edition.
I was gonna say, all you need is somebody with a Connecticut accent, and you've got yourself a Eldritch Horror Call of Cthulhu story just waiting to fucking happen.
It's not Twin Peaks yet. Nobody's talking backwards, and we haven't tried the coffee.
Nor have we found a dead body wrapped up in sheet plastic out in the lake.
What are you talking about? No one's talking backwards. There's no such thing as a valet out here, Kendall.
No, that's people acting backwards, not talking backwards. God, I need to watch Twin Peaks again now. Such a classic.
And the other thing that you guys would have noticed as you walk down to the blacksmith is there are more businesses than the secretary mentioned. Okay. The rest of them seem to be abandoned, but they do have signs.
I'm going to do a useless insight roll. 8.
She's a blacksmith.
I will try.
Doesn't seem
Yeah, no,
deceptive.
9. There we go. One more.
I'll join in on this. Also 8.
She seems like a blacksmith.
Seems like an actual blacksmith.
Till you're fairly certain that she thinks you're attractive.
Okay. I got work to do. Miss Stella, the Vera down at the town hall did reference that you might be available to sort of point us in the right direction or maybe show us where you had seen the environs.
Oh, I can walk you down to the section of the forest where they tend to roam if you feel that.
Would be absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just give me a bit and let me wrap up shop for a while. 1 second.
For sure.
Yep.
Does she have any guns?
Yeah, there's a few handguns. Like nothing like large caliber. It doesn't seem like this small town needs anything big.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the most you've got, there's some hunting rifles out of the largest guns she has, but most of
okay. All right. Till's good.
But after a few minutes, she sets the form for the blade out to cool for a while, and sort of dusts her hands off, wipes some soot away from her outfit, walks over to one side wall and pulls a halberd off of it and just sort of shoulders it. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Excellent. Follow Atala.
And she steps out of the blacksmith and starts to walk you out of the town to the west, where it sort of heads into the forest.
So where's all the rest of the people?
It's always been a bit of a small town, as far as memory serves.
Yeah, but there's a lot of places here for the amount of people. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's people come and go over time. A lot of the buildings have sort of been built and then never lived in. Sort of the kind of thing you sort of like. You seen like manufactured ghost towns where they think there's going to be a lot more buildings and the people never actually show up?
Mm-mm.
I mean, as far as I was aware, that sort of thing was usually due to larger entities, corporations, and monetary funds who purchase up all of the necessary dwelling and leave them empty for tax reasons. And then, of course, there's a housing bubble, and then that begins to decay over time, and Till basically recounts the early 2000s housing crisis. And
I mean, I can't tell you too much on the details. People don't live here. Small town, even despite the number of buildings.
Huh.
And she leads you out into the forest, and she's, "Hey there, folk. Any of you still around here?" And sort of like calls out into the forest around. Everyone can roll me perception checks.
Ooh, I like rolling perception checks.
Mr. will get up and start flying around
29.
and apparently flies into a tree.
Mistle, you look around, you're just not spotting anything.
Mistel's blinded by the tears.
Hard to see through the trauma sometimes.
Yep, that tracks.
So,
the same tree.
Till, as you look around, you see the signs of tiny creatures having been here recently.
Mm-hmm.
As you look around, you see like small bits of branches that have been fashioned into seats. You see like small hollows that have been cut out of trees to form like resting places. It looks like this place has seen recent activity, like as recent as maybe a few hours ago.
Okay.
But it doesn't. You don't see anything or anyone present at the moment.
All right. And we took Streeto with us, right? Or
Yeah,
was
Street
she?
is here.
Yeah, Street is here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Till will kind of point out the evidence. Yeah. Kind of pulling out the evidence of what he's seeing, and ask if either of them have any further insight or ideas as to where the Invarans may have gone off to. Because Till's survival is 4.
Streeta and Jasira are going to make a couple of rolls.
And he'll also, Miss Fairchild, can you send a alert to Coltorn and indicate where we are?
Yeah. Yeah. Ping.
Drop him a pin.
Yeah. Find my. Sure, you're find my info.
Right.
So as you look around,
Find my engineer.
Streeta sort of looks around. This place seems different. There was a sense of uneasiness in the town. Even the people that I had seen seemed almost unsure of themselves. This place seems more empty in a traditional sense. It doesn't seem to have the same wrongness. It just seems like the people who are here are not here right now. Perhaps they've sensed what's going on and are in hiding.
Does it look like anything was left behind? Or if they had anything, does it look like they packed it all up? Till's just trying to get a guesstimate on, did they leave in a hurry, or did they get all their shit and just book out?
You get the sense, based on your perception roll, that Some stuff was taken, but a lot of stuff was left.
Okay.
Like you can see, like it doesn't look like people intended to leave this place forever.
Okay.
It seems like whatever hurry they were in to get somewhere or hide somewhere, they didn't think they were abandoning this place entirely.
Till's gonna write a note and just stick it up on one of the near one of the seats that he sees there built. What, Mistel, do you have a last name or a family name?
I'm gonna leave that up to the GM because if she does, she doesn't remember it because she was so young when she was taken.
Then you don't remember it, so you can't give it anyway.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't remember.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I
don't
think they might. Whoever was here might come back. So I think we should leave a note and let them know where they can find us.
Be careful about how you word it. I think they're afraid of something.
Tell you what, why don't you write it then?
Okay.
And just let them know that we'll probably be at the Dream and Dram, honestly. Whatever inn in town, I presume, is probably where we'll be spending the evening till we can get to the bottom of everything.
Okay. And Mistel will sit down on like one of the little areas that like looks like they had fashioned it to be a bed. And write out a note, which basically says, "Hi, I'm one of you guys, and I'm looking for my family. If you could please find me at what you said, the Dream and Dram?
Yeah.
At the Dream and Dram. And then just sign Mistel."
You leave that note.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because Till's assuming that Invarans probably don't leave tracks because they fly.
Yeah, generally.
Right. So he's not like thinking that it's necessarily the best idea to try and like trek them to wherever they've gone, especially if it looks like they will return to this place at some point. But he'll thank Atala and then send a quick note to Coltarn to meet us at the Dream and Dram whenever he's finished up.
What time of day is it right now?
It's probably mid-afternoon, like approaching evening.
Okay, then yeah, Mistel will, on their way back, she'll sit on Till's shoulder and she'll say, in a few hours, I want to come back.
All right. Will you want company?
Yeah, if you want to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My people are more active at later in the evening, so maybe.
Okay. No, that's very wise. And Till's gonna try and see if he can figure out any pattern or anything to the closed/abandoned buildings on our way back.
Not really much in the way of a pattern, really.
Also,
Okay.
I assume I didn't get anything from any of the texts.
You got the location they were at. It seems to be sort of on the outside of whatever this whole thing is.
Okay.
And as far as like you see a number of different abandoned businesses. There's an alchemy shop called the Secret Ingredient. There looks to be an animal, like a barn, like like a store devoted to like selling like farm animals.
Oh, like a feed shop kind of thing?
Like actually like has like so at least according to the sign has like donkeys, horses, and ox, like farm animals available. And as you sort of look around the side, you see the animals are still grazing in the yard,
Mm-hmm.
even though there doesn't appear to be anybody in the building.
Till will lean over to Kendall. Miss Fairchild.
Uh-huh.
Definitely trying to make sure that Atala does not overhear us. After we've parted company with our current escort, are you opposed to a bit of skullduggery?
Blink. Blink. Sure.
Excellent.
There's a like aside from those buildings, there's a cafe that appears to be abandoned. There's a winery, and there appears to be some kind of like stonemason, carpenter, construction like building materials building that also appears to be abandoned.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, once we're done with Atala, Till will loop everybody back around.
Every now and then, as Atala is walking, and each of you, as you sort of walk around, you occasionally find yourself tripping over nothing. As you sort of like, as you're walking, you sort of trip on something and look back, and there's nothing there. You sort of tripped over your own feet, it seems like.
How many times does that happen to Till?
Like once, maybe twice. Doesn't seem to happen often.
After the second time, he is actively going to stop because he is usually very physically sure of himself. He is going to go back to where it was that he tripped and like kick the empty air.
You sort of kick the air and you don't notice anything out of it.
Okay, yeah. That's very weird.
There's more atmospheric weirdness in this town as well. Like there are cats and dogs around, and every time you get anywhere near a cat, it sort of like puffs up and hisses and then runs away. And like
does it look directly at us?
It seems to like look at you and over your shoulder occasionally. And like dogs nearby will start barking or growling occasionally for no reason.
Okay.
By the way, Shawnee.
Yes.
I have thermal sight.
This is not helping you with anything.
Cool. I just want to make
sure. By the way, I have dark vision.
No. I see heat signatures because of my cybernetic eye that I got from being Gadgeteer level 3.
Hell yeah.
So
occasionally, as you sort of walk around, you find that your hand is on your weapon and you don't know why.
I mean, Till knows why. He's getting real jumpy about this place. He assumes he knows why.
Being affected by the silence. When you look away, you forget they exist.
Yep. So, yeah, follow Atala back to. I love how nonchalant Kendall is about literally everything. After we follow Atala back to Blackfire, Till will make a polite excusing of all of us, and then he's headed back towards Secret Ingredient. And the very first thing he does is just walk right up to it and try the door.
It's unlocked.
Okay, yep. Well, it's technically not a crime if you're not breaking and entering, and pushes inside.
Yep. You walk in?
Yeah.
It looks like an old alchemy shop. There's there's empty bottles in places. There's like some stock. There's there's bits and stuff everywhere. It looks like it's a regular old alchemy shop.
And no sign of
out
for lunch, right? Yeah, anything.
No sign.
Back at, and there's a picture of a clock, right? Miss Fairchild. How educated are you on the civil statutes for Fallen Thornwood?
That's a really good question.
Because as it stands now, I would say most of this material is abandoned, and therefore, let's look around, see if there's anything worth salvaging here.
Would that be a history check?
If you want, yeah. As far as both of you
We
are
both
concerned, this
know.
place is abandoned.
Right, yep. So yeah,
If you want to investigate to see what you can find, you can roll me investigation. One of you can help the other if you want to give someone advantage.
I will. Yeah, I will give Kendall advantage on investigating.
Okay.
Nice.
Hot damn.
So you find some things. You find a murky black potion with a sort of like a swirling gray mist that sort of drifts through it. You find several potions. This is not the only one. Hang on. Let me make sure I'm describing this potion right. Yep, this potion doesn't have a normal name. Yep, so yeah, there's a sort of a murky black potion with sort of this like green wisps or gray wisps through it. There is a. What does this potion have?
Been to an alchemist shop in a town with no name.
Look, you're the one over here going Master Maker, and making me think of Fiddler on the Roof.
I know what song you were trying to do, but it wasn't even the key. It was the cadence was so far off.
Oh yeah, no, the cadence doesn't work.
There is a. As I try and get that. There we go. There is a potion of. That seems to have this sort of yellowish liquid. And there seems to be an eyeball bobbing in the fluid.
A piss potion.
And there are two of those black potions, one of the yellow one, and there is a book that has a property of Reisveld town hall and library sticker on the spine, and a couple of dog-eared pages.
If nobody else does, Till is definitely going to inadvisedly just pick that up and open it and start flipping through.
I'm looking over this potion.
Yeah.
Arcana?
Yeah, you can roll me Arcana.
I didn't mention it before. Mistel stayed at the end.
Yeah.
17.
So the two black potions are potions of blindness and deafness.
I never got why people make these. Beyond, I want to have a good time.
And the one with the floating eyeball is a potion of clairvoyance.
Ooh. Let's go in the clutch.
And then Till, you sort of flip through the dog-eared pages, and they all appear to be books about aberrations. Or pages about aberrations. And like various monsters that have been seen to exist. It's got information on illithids and on aboleths and various like mythological creatures. There's a footnote on something called a false hydra. There's a note on like mind control slugs and like all
Mhm.
various different forms of mind affecting aberration.
Okay. That seems a little too related to what we've got going on here. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Is Till picking up any environmental Till wants to do just an analysis of his surroundings. Not just here in the alchemy shop, but kind of in the open as well. Have there been any weird physical sensory inputs other than the weird tripping over things that aren't there? Any weird sounds or smells that he wouldn't
Roll
that
me a
seem to
wisdom
be coming
save,
out of
just
nowhere?
just to see what you might have picked up and not thought about until now.
Nat 20, baby. 24.
So a few things begin to click in your head that you sort of have not realized until now. You put to mind what Streeta was saying, the uneasiness that she had mentioned. There's a number of people around who have appeared like they're trying to remember something.
Mm-hmm.
Like immediately, like a number of people who are like, "What was I?" There was a thing, and a number of them seem like that. You realize that you've passed a couple of townsfolk who were crying, and yet didn't seem to know why. You realize that you're not the only people who've been tripping over nothing. Other people have been doing it too.
Okay.
You realize that there's like a number of things. Most of the abandoned buildings look as if they were still in operation.
Okay.
And anyone asked about it is just not aware of it. There is something very particular going on here.
Okay.
And you feel like you're very close to identifying what. You would just need to find some way to see through whatever is confounding people.
Okay.
Because it's clearly confounding you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even if not as much as everyone else.
All right. And you said, did Mistle come with us to the alchemy shop?
Mistle stayed,
she stayed
at
the end.
At the end.
With bees, I'm assuming.
Okay. He'll key his communicator over to Mistle. Mistle, everything all right over there?
I think so. Is everything okay over there?
You've come in and sat down with bees. The innkeeper is a woman named Lev. She is happy to give you a meal. She mentions, it's like, oh, me and my husband Fib are perfectly happy to provide you with any meals you might need. Don't worry about paying for anything right now. I'm just happy to have some guests. Husband, and yeah, like a few minutes later, you have a hot meal in front of you, and yeah, it seems normal.
Yeah, everything's fine. They're feeding us. They're not charging us any money.
Nope, that's not okay. There is not a goddamn innkeeper in this galaxy who would just say, it's on the house for no reason. Be careful.
Okay. Before she...
Wait, people don't comp you?
Not in places like this, they don't, Miss Fairchild. No, especially in a low population town like this. That inn should be scraping for business and need every possible fraction of a credit that walks through the door.
Before she eats the food, she's going to investigate it first.
Investigation.
Nope, looks good.
Looks like normal food.
How? I love how everyone is trying to do investigations.
Still's the first to die. Um, that said, she's not very hungry, so she'll kind of poke at it for a little bit and maybe like take little bites, but not eat much.
I have a feeling bees just literally just.
Oh, we just 100% just swarms over the food. Yes.
That's the last we heard of bees.
Colturn, can you meet us at the inn whenever you get a chance, please?
I have a thought on that, actually. Could you meet me halfway to the inn from the town hall?
Absolutely.
All of you.
Shrita, Chisira, Ken, Miss Fairchild, let's meet up with Coltarn on our way to where we will likely be lodging tonight. As inadvisable as that might be.
Jasira sort of looks around. This place reeks, and I don't know why.
Reeks of what?
I can't put my thoughts on it. There's something wrong, and I can't identify it.
Is it specifically a smell to you, however?
It's a sensory situation of something being wrong.
All right.
I'm going to, out of the blue.
I think I'm seeing things and not registering them, sort of kind of thing.
What's Kendall going to do?
I'm going to, without just snap judgment, just casually, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to put a hand on Tilt's shoulder. I'm going to cast a spell magic.
You cast a spell magic. Nada. Nothing changes.
I just put my hand on your shoulder and then let go.
Yes, Miss Fairchild?
Nothing.
All right.
So, two things. One, as I'm going to halfway between the town hall and the inn that we were told about, I'm using my thermal sight to scan the buildings. And I want to see if there's any of the abandoned houses are warmer than an abandoned house would necessarily be. Like, as if there's the people in it, even though it seems to be abandoned and left alone. And two, I'm raking my brain, and might not be able to do that. Might not be able to be successful, but I'm raking my brain for any sort of entity that I'm aware of that can control, like, data, not communications or computers, but information on a scale. More than just general fey or fiend or fey or fiend or something like that, right?
Like in the books that you're looking through.
No, meant in my own data bank. I'm not.
In your own data banks?
Yeah, like my own mental understanding, knowledge, and any planetary access that I've got.
Roll me an Arcana.
13.
You're having a hard time finding anything like your own database searches. There's like there's a lot of things that do stuff, but it's like you're having a hard time pinpointing something that does this. And as you look through the houses as you walk by, some of them appear to be more dilapidated than others. Some seem like they've been kind of overgrown. And like there's only like moldy stuff inside. Other ones seem like they are like recently lived in. Like some only like you can see there's name signs for names that don't appear that no one seems to have. There are some that appear oddly drafty in ways that you can't really understand because there's no airflow, but you feel an airflow here. And
does it feel like my senses are lying to me?
Oh, 100% you're getting the feel
Like-
that your senses are lying to
like-
you.
One or more of them is lying to me.
Yeah, you get the feeling that one or more of your senses is being completely baffled.
Trusting the thermal sight because it's technological rather than physiological. It's as opposed to my hearing, my vision, sense of touch, etc. Is there any? I'm trying to think of how I could like verify which of my senses are lying to me through using the thermal sight as an assumed default. I'm not coming up with anything.
So, you gonna meet up with everyone while you're thinking on this?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the group of you gather up.
Yeah, Till would have called Mistel about the meeting as well, and had seen if she would bring bees along with.
Before she goes over there, she will like go up to the innkeeper and like offer money or credits for the food and just like thank her
Yeah.
and see what her reaction is.
Oh, thank you very much. She didn't need to, but I appreciate it, and she'll take what you hand her. Like,
We'll need some rooms for tonight too.
oh, absolutely. I'll be glad to put you up for the night. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you. And then she'll go off with these to meet the others.
As I'm walking, I'm just gonna just reach into the technological backpack that Koldarn carries. Pull out a vial, make a few adjustments to it really quick, and then put it into an injector and just sort of stab it into my neck and inject as I cast Enhance Ability, targeting my wisdom on myself. Just to give me a little bit of a potential edge on something that might be affecting me.
And as we're meeting up with Goltarn, Till is going to use his action to perform Stillness of Mind, just to see if there's any effect. He'll just sort of close his eyes, focus, find that center of reality within his own mind, and then reopen his eyes and end any one effect on him that is causing me to be charmed or frightened, if that has any effect.
So, there is as you sort of focus on that for a second. You swear something drifts into your thoughts for a moment, like you are aware of something. But by the time you've opened your eyes again, it's gone again. Like, it seems like you can't clear your mind for a sustained enough period to be aware of what it is you're not aware of. But it is telling you there is something you're not aware of.
Okay. Goltarn, what have we found?
Oh, Jeremy? Oh, you just said hi. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing specific, except a lot of weird things. All
Yeah, this place
information seems
is-
to scrub itself automatically. Photos that go out, even if they are a photo, if for instance a photo of the sign, and someone on the other end will be able to see it, that the sign itself will be wrong. It will be missing the information. I did notice that Xander might. It seems odd, specifically because of the planet he came from. Seemed to regard the photos that I sent him as photos of a fairly downtrodden area.
Yeah, it's what people on my
It seems definitive that our senses are lying to us. I've noticed from a few of the abandoned houses that data does not match up. Relatively warm houses with no holes in it seem to have drafts. Relatively cold houses seem to be occupied or unoccupied. Conversely, businesses that should seem to be closed but don't seem like they've been closed for long.
Interesting.
I offered the innkeeper money for the food, and she did accept it, but said I didn't need to do that. And then left the impression that they'll put us up tonight without us like paying.
I would suggest.
Honestly,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead, Coulter.
I would suggest us going into the inn, finding our rooms, going into our rooms, then immediately climbing out the window and settling in the building next door, or whatever the closest abandoned building that has sightlines on the inn is. Something is wrong here, and staying in the places that we are indicated does not seem like it's likely to get us the information we want or need.
That's potentially valid.
If
On
the
the other
rooms-
hand, it might force their whatever they have planned. It might force their hand to move if we rest in the area where they very so obviously want us to be. But that might be assuming an unnecessary level of risk.
If the abandoned houses are not abandoned, then staying in them overnight might give us more information as to what's happened to them.
Also true.
If they are abandoned, and something wants us to stay at the inn, staying there means that they are going to have to change their plan. And if whatever is affecting this town is affecting it passively, then it might just affect us no matter where we are.
I also found this book. There's a number of marked pages in it, all to deal with aberrations that have the capacity, apparently, to affect the mind. And he'll just hold the book out to Coltarn.
Am I familiar with? Is this a book that I've ever read before?
No, but I mean, as you flip through it, it's most of this is stuff that you've got info on previously, and then there's some that are like obscure creatures that just have footnotes on them that just don't have a whole lot of info in the book.
Anything that stands out?
And
I mean, they're all similar. Like everything that you're looking at is a very similar thing, and or similarly have not a lot of info on them.
And Miss Fairchild found some things as well. Were you able to determine what those?
Yeah, potion of blindness, a potion of deafness, and one of clairvoyance.
No, both of them are potions of blindness, deafness.
Oh, blindness, deafness. 2 potions of blindness, deafness, and
Oh,
I'll be right back.
Where are you?
I turn around and walk out the door.
Till is right on Kendall's heels.
No, it's fine. I'll be right back.
Miss Fairchild, you seem to forget what I am employed to do.
Right. Okay. Sure. Where's the car currently?
It's a little ways down. I parked it a little ways down from the town hall.
Cool. I turn and I start walking that way.
We'll be right back.
Hi.
I'm going to look through the book for anything that... I'm looking for the book for anything that is marked as being deaf or blind is useful. Or anything that is noted for having an effect that takes place through the medium of sound or sight.
Roll me investigation.
I unfortunately gave myself enhanced ability for wisdom, so I don't have advantage on this, but... It was a 19. It was a 16. Then it rolled to a 6. I don't know why I've got 3D dice on. 14.
There are passages about Umber Hulks that can like hypnotize if you catch vision of them. There are marks about like a bunch of various creatures that have hypnotic gazes or sirens that have a hypnotizing song. None of this seems super relevant to you. You get the feeling that like if there is a specific creature here, this book doesn't have enough info on it. It's probably one of the ones that only has like brief footnotes. Of which there are, of the bookmarked pages, there are like 3 or 4 that don't have a whole lot of info on them. There's not a whole lot on aboleths. There's not a whole lot on that sort of mythological creature. It's called a false hydra. There's not a lot on illithids. There's not a lot on a couple of other things.
Do I know anything about the ones that there's not a lot on more specifically?
Not really. Like your earlier Arcana didn't give you much.
Right. Did
meanwhile,
Kendall kept those potions, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, Kendall has the potions on her.
Yeah.
So yeah. Meanwhile, with Kendall.
Yep. Walk to the car. Get in.
Hill's right there with you.
Yep. He's not fighting it. He's going to drive out of town.
Partway out of town, Till will ask.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Till will just lean over and ask, Miss Fairchild, may I have one of those blind deaf potions?
Yep. Hand it over. And she is
chug.
Much as she was going much as she was while she was coming in, she is 1000% driving and texting, or specifically driving and social media posting.
She literally doing camera shots out the driver's side window and then posting them, or
yep, with
excellent
detailed information each time.
Okay,
and we will find out at what point it comes through.
Okay.
So, Till, do you want to be blind or deaf?
Blind.
All right, you go blind.
Right, and he's going to reenact stillness of mind with every action for probably at least a minute. So that'd be 10 attempts. Now that he is visually cut off from the area around him.
You sort of cut your eyes out for a minute and focus. And you, for the whole minute, as you focus on that, you feel like you're hearing something, but it's not there, and you're not able to get enough out of it.
Okay.
And Kendall, like a short distance outside of town, you are finally able to start actually sending information again.
All right. I've been sending these obviously with private visibility.
Private mode engaged?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it looks weird, and she's not letting her space Instagram look weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And once she hits there, she will stop the car, and she's going to do it like foot by foot till she gets to the exact point.
It basically lines up with the sign of the town.
Interesting. And she'll start driving around, gets back in, and starts driving around. She won't see if this is a perfect circle. She's basically mapping out systematically.
It's not a perfect circle. There is like uneven areas where details about the area will go through in some places and won't in others.
All right. She's dropping a pin. She's driving probably about every 100 feet. She's stopping, checking, and obviously this is going to take a while.
Yeah, and you are able to make basically an oblong spheroid of the town.
Partway through this process, Till will ask Kendall, could you make a quick, since we know this last point you dropped, could you make a quick left, which will put us well outside the bounds of whatever this boundary is that we're mapping?
Yep.
And bring up your feed again. See if the pictures of the town look different now that we're outside.
Good point. Shunk.
Not quite. At the moment, it still seems to look the normal way. You surmise that even if you're outside of the general effect here, you surmise that you're probably not far enough away to be fully aware.
Fully separate from whatever the element is.
You know what that means?
We're
We
not
just have to drive faster. Boom.
but we have friends back there, Miss Fairchild, that
We'll
we
get
do
back
need.
to them. They're fine for now.
All right.
How far out are you going?
What's the speed on this?
It's like highway car speeds. It can go up to like 120, 140 miles an hour.
So we're gonna drive for about half hour.
Okay.
70 miles. Okay.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Once you've gotten about 10 miles out and you look back at your images, you start to see beaten up, broken down buildings in places. Like you see holes in buildings. They don't look that much different. The thing that you notice are massive circular holes in a bunch of these buildings.
So Kendall looks absolutely horrified and then immediately starts deleting the pictures off of her.
I can't have people think I was in a place like
Exactly.
this. Exactly. Amazing. As we see that, Till will get on the comm back to Coltarn and give him the updates of what it actually looks like.
Coltarn might not answer.
Okay, no worries.
Because Johnny, I want to see if I can having an idea based on the blindness and deafness potions and the aberrations. I want to see if I can seal the helmet because my suit is my suit is able to be environmentally sealed. I want to seal off the basically I'm going to seal off everything except sight, and then take another data reading and see if anything seems different to me now.
So the problem is you can't really fully seal your helmet off from everything, including sound. Like sight and sound, because you are, unless you want to be completely gone. Like you can't build a vacuum in your ears, basically. You could try and plug your ears to a certain extent.
That's what I mean, like sound dampening, trying to just sound dampening through the helmet, basically.
So,
and then I'm doing that with I'm basically starting at sight and then switching through the senses and trying to isolate senses and seeing what changes to my perspective, to my perception.
So it's when you cut off your hearing that everything changes. And we're going to get to that after the break.
All right. If you're watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. Remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A
A
dinosaur,
dinosaur
story.
story.
So, returning with Coltarn. As you cut off all sound to where you cannot hear or be heard at this moment, everything around you changes. As the instant that all audio has been removed, the world around you takes on the look of raw destruction. As you look, you see holes in buildings, craters in the road, massive chunks of earth ripped up that are not visible to you previously. Even this building has large chunks taken out of the roof. And as you look outside, you see towering over everything long, sinuous, pale white, fleshy necks rising up into the sky with human-ish heads, wrong, fleshy, in abominations, open mouths, seemingly singing a song of blindness. As one of them that is not singing reaches down and takes up a passerby entirely in its maw.
I blank the face on my helmet, so it's just mirrored. So that I can see, but no one can see my face, if possible. I can make a roll for that. And Mistel's still with me, right?
Yep.
Mistel and bees.
I'm just gonna pull out my
And
data-
Jasira and
yeah.
Strita.
I'm just gonna pull out my data pad and begin typing on it. Can I move to a position where the thing can't see me, or can't see me clearly?
I mean, it doesn't really have there are heads on at various
Right.
places. There's more than one of these, but they don't seem to have a direct line of sight on you while you're in the tavern.
Okay. Is the tavern mostly intact?
Yeah, for the most part. There's like an hole in it as you look up. There's like one in the
Okay.
roof.
Because we were actually on the street, but or we were like we were thinking about, we hadn't really moved to a different location yet. I don't think.
Oh yeah, so yeah, in this case, inside the tavern would be outside of
Yeah.
its direct line of sight.
I'm just gonna gesture to the rest of my party without saying anything, obviously, and move into the tavern.
Follow.
Get sort of like to an area in the back, and then on the data pad, I'm just gonna type, "Don't say anything or react." Put these in, and I'm going to use, if I can, I'm going to use magical tinkering to create some earbuds or some earplugs for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did we put those in bees? All
Can't
of
help
bees.
bees. I can never remember bees.
Oh, so yes, you can make some earplugs.
Yeah, so I'll make some earplugs for. the
Although,
people
how many
that have
times
ears.
how many uses do you have of magical tinkering?
I have 5.
All right, so you can make 5 sets technically,
So
unless they don't persist.
Nevertheless.
The chosen property lasts indefinitely. As an action, you can touch the object and end the property early. You can bestow magic on multiple objects, touching one object each time you use the feature. Though a single object can only bear one property at a time. So, like, if I'm just making earplugs.
Oh, magical tinkering doesn't make specifically that thing though. It just
Yeah, I'm like, but like I figure I can make a thing that produces sound, like, and if I could theoretically make something that produces like silence, and just shove it in your ears.
Unfortunately, that's not a sound. Silence is not a sound. It is in fact the absence of sound.
Well, in that case, can I just make a Tinker's
Can you
Tools
make
trick?
something that produces the sound of silence, however, which we have musical evidence that does exist?
Yeah.
I believe we call that the sleep spell.
Well, no. It's what is it? Was it 18? Was it? It's like, what's the song? It's like 10 minutes.
433 is what you're thinking of.
Or 433.
Right, yeah. 433. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look, first you have to make friends with darkness.
Yeah.
And then, right.
Don't get me wrong. I love that song. It is a great song. But if you ever need to fall
I want to make a thing
asleep,
that just plays 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence on a loop.
On a loop.
Unfortunately, that will not override the sound.
Okay.
Right, because the music of 433 is everything else that you can still hear at the same time.
Can I just like use my Tinker's Tools to make some quick earplugs?
I mean, theoretically, but that would probably take some time. And it's going to be real hard while you're like completely cut off most of the way. Because you have now not only deafened yourself, but also mostly blinded yourself.
Well, no, I just shut off. I was doing this one sense at a time. So now that when I identify that the silence is what's helping, I can unmute myself, although I'm not going to. But like I can still see. I should be able to see.
You had said that you wanted to like cut off the vision to where like your face couldn't be seen, which would require you to not be able to see either.
Okay. Well,
mostly.
now that we're inside, I'll open that back up.
Yeah.
I'll just give them some hang on.
They can't also just plug their ears. Like with their hands.
Except for bees.
yeah, I was gonna say once again, bees, all of bees.
Yeah, fine. I'll just put in plug your ears on the communicator while I start making something that can, like, I'm just gonna like grab some napkins or something and start fashioning temporary earplugs.
Mista will plug her ears.
Yeah, the instant you deafen yourself and can no longer hear the song, you begin to see the thing as well.
What
Yes.
contents are?
Yes, and the damage that it's caused.
Cool.
Was it showing up in any of no, it wasn't showing up in any of the pictures that Kendall had taken though, right?
No.
Just the damage.
Just the damage that it caused.
Okay.
I'd like to apologize for this. She will take her hands out of her ears and Mistle takes off.
Roll me a wisdom save.
All right.
I did say don't react.
6.
The instant your hands are out of your ears and you can hear the song again, you forget what you just saw.
Oh, okay. Never mind. She's about to take off.
So you start feeling like you need to take off. You forget why, and then you see the message that says plug your ears, and we get into a cycle.
Once again, he plugs her ears.
Cycle repeats.
This just
I
keeps
see
going.
the cycle happening. I draw some conclusions. Just gonna erase the date. Looking at the other two, have they plugged their ears?
So hang on, I need to make a roll for Jasira.
Or are they also going through the cycle?
Well, it's a question of whether they can roll a good wisdom save. That shouldn't have been to GM, but she rolled a 25. Cool. And then Strida, or Jasira rather. 15. Again, shouldn't have been to the GM. So both of them plug their ears for a second, look around, take their hands off of their ears again, and Strida, and you can't hear anything, but they seem to talk to each other for a second. And Mistle, you hear Strida say, for no apparent reason, I can't see it anymore, but I still know it's there, which is unsettling.
What now?
Nothing.
I
Not
just sort of I see
helpful,
them talking,
Srita.
and I just tap the data. I tap the data pad.
Don't make me tap the sign.
Can I route calls through my helmet without opening up external audio?
Probably not, because you're literally just an audio feature right now. Like if you want
Yeah.
to be heard, you have to be able to hear.
Right. In that case, I'm just going to contextless send basically a text message to Till that says that says it blinds through sound. Plug your ears.
Srita's still good. Jasira's still good.
What does Till actually get when that text is sent?
So the problem is, and this would have been a thing you would have had to learn through your data pad as well. Because you would have had to write this down rather than putting it on your data pad, because I forgot to mention this. Like things that hold memory cannot remember. And so your data pad refuses to hold any information for longer, like that you try and write down about the situation for longer than a moment. Same thing with the text.
Okay, so it won't hold it. All right. How do I deafen? How do I deafen my communicator? Look at the other
You get the
two.
sense that the analog method of things that are physically written on things can't be erased as easily as data can.
Yeah. I look at I look at the other two that seem to be. I'll just. Do I have any paper I can use? Yeah.
There goes Jasira. Street is still good. So as Jasira seems to like lose focus for a second and be like, what was I looking at? Jasira, realizing that, takes a minute, and you see her like focus for a second, and she like literally sets off a flashbang in her own ears. Like you can see there's like a burst of loud noise that you can't make out, but the other two hear an incredibly loud sound next to you for some reason as Srita deafens herself.
There you go.
That's how you get tinnitus.
She literally just gave herself tinnitus, but she's a demigod. She'll be fine.
She'll walk it off.
Ah,
All right. So I'm going to. Does enhanced ability affect saving throws as well, or just
Just ability checks, I
ability
think.
check?
Let me make sure. Yeah,
Yeah, just
ability
checks,
checks.
not saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And sometimes a secondary effect depending on.
So yeah, okay. In that case, I will write down on paper, if possible, to Strita, who deafened herself. Write down and slide over. Can't send messages digitally. Need to tell Till and Kendall.
He looks down at it, looks at it, nods, reaches down to write down. It hasn't noticed us yet. How are we fighting something this large?
Working on it.
You know, Miss Fairchild, if this whole thing takes a weird turn, or you might have a future as a surveyor's assistant if you ever need a job. I don't know if that's something that you'd ever require, but
I mean, I might want to find something to do someday, but ew.
you get to walk around out in nature if that's appealing at all.
There is a momentary, just slight shift in expression that, for lack of a better way to put it, goes from Paris Hilton's on-screen persona
Mm-hmm.
to Regina George.
Till just kind of chuckles.
Do I look like somebody who likes to walk around in nature a lot?
No, it was a joke, Miss Fairchild.
Oh. Okay.
Ever go to Mistel's planet?
Well, that's the thing. If she goes to Mistel's planet, she's going to Mistel's planet as a tourist.
Right.
Mistel is no longer plugging her ears, I'm assuming, right?
No, because she's forgotten everything and you haven't tried to remind her.
Yeah. I'm going to write down on a piece of paper without explaining anything and just slide over to Mistel, and it'll say just call Till, see where they are.
Am I allowed to talk? She will write.
He just nods.
Okay. Call still.
Hello. Hi. How's things back in town?
I don't know. I'm a little confused at what's happening right now.
I think we all are a bit. We're sort of getting the boundary of the effect a little. So
there's something going on with Coltarn. I don't know. Anyway, Coltarn wanted me to see where you were.
I'll give the best estimate that I can.
Okay, she will tell.
Yeah, right.
I'll write down in response to that, tell them to get him here.
Yeah, he says come back. Like now.
Miss Fairchild, apparently our services are required.
Oh. Okay, well, that's fine. From this point, we can probably extrapolate out. We can probably extrapolate out what's left. He does a couple quick and then just proceeds to put the pins around.
Right.
Yeah, you can fill the pin to form a rough circle, yeah.
Okay.
All right. And yep, I guess we turn around and drive back. So whenever we get back to where you are, okay, what's up?
I
see Coltarn in like full pressurized suit mode.
What's all this?
Just gestures with his finger.
You're acting very weird, Coltarn.
Yeah, he doesn't want people
even
to
for
talk.
you. Like,
Write
we're
down on a
used
piece
to
of paper.
weird, but
Write down on a piece of paper. Plug your ears. Don't react.
why?
All right. Till will plug his ears.
And you plug your ears, and again, the instant you do so, you see the damage and can see the heads in the distance.
Oh, fuck.
That's big.
Of course, neither of you can hear what either of you are saying at this point, but
Until he'll take his hands out of his ears, because nobody has said and keep them plugged.
Right.
yeah, so
at
now
any
now
point.
make a wisdom save.
All right,
Yep.
wisdom save. 17.
You remember what you just saw for the next
But
6
it is
seconds.
gone. Okay.
Yeah, but it is gone again.
He'll jam his right. So as soon as it vanishes, he'll jam his fingers back in his ears because he's
Oh my
not
God.
stupid.
Coltarn hasn't
Because I'm
taken.
so
Coltarn
good at
hasn't
wisdom
undeafened
saves.
himself since he
Right.
so he's not fully certain what happens when you unplug your ears.
then Till
Kendall
will-
forgets what she just saw as soon as she takes her hands out of her
Right.
ears.
Can I do
So-
another wisdom roll for Mistral? Because I feel like she did this again.
Sure, make another
So
wisdom
do
save.
it.
You remember what you just saw for the next 6 seconds. Until you plug your ears again.
Till has now a dilemma because he wants to write something down, but he can't take his fingers out of his ears.
Have I had any success in fashioning your? Actually, no, right. Flip over, get another piece of paper. Write potions. Potions of B/D. Drink 1.
Do you have them on? Shrita will look over and with no volume control because she's deafened herself.
Right, yeah.
Will look over at Kendall. Can I get one of those potions of deafness?
Yeah, we only have the one left, but sure.
She'll take it and hand it over to Till, and put it in his mouth.
Right. Okay. Swallows that back.
And you have now been deafened for the
So
next 10 minutes.
confused.
10 minutes. Okay. He'll take his fingers out of his ears and immediately start writing down weird flesh monster thingy, multiple heads, massive body, plug ears to, he'll start writing down just a quick sit rep of the thing. And then he'll pause for a moment, get back to ship, murder it from the sky.
We'll also write then. If it doesn't get us on the way out.
Have you seen this woman drive?
Smiles brightly.
Mistle, did you cover your ears again, or have you not?
She has not.
Make another wisdom save.
She's reading this though.
You
20.
still remember for now.
Yep.
The
Okay.
instant you make one of those that is not at least a 15, you will forget everything you've seen.
All right.
Well, but she's reading what they're saying.
Yes, but you will forget everything about the Hydra. The instant you
Yeah.
roll
So
one of
it'll
those
be
less
like
than
as if
15.
you hadn't read anything, and then you'll read it again, and then. Yeah.
And then, Shrita, how are you deaf?
She holds her hand out, and just there's a small bit of light that gathers in her hand, and you imagine it's making a noise, but she puts it away.
Right. Miss Fairchild, I'm going to ask you to do something for your own safety that is very important. It will sound stupid. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't hear. Okay, all right. Strita is going to suspend your ability to hear for a little while.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I have been listening to reading the whole thing.
Excellent. All right.
So Strita puts both hands to either side of your ear, and there's just a loud bang. Make me a con save.
Watch. Kendall has the most resilient eardrums on Fallen Thorn.
You are now deafened
Okay.
for the next 10 minutes.
Right.
Hold on, I think I need to roll a wisdom save to prevent from instinctually doing something terrifying. I am going to. So yeah, just instinctually, like clearly not even meaning to. I'm activating my Fey presence.
Is that everyone around you needs to make a wisdom save?
Everyone around me makes to make a wisdom saving throw DC 15 to become, and it would definitely be frightened, not charmed. It'll only be briefly. It'll only be momentarily.
Okay. You frightened Jasira. What's your DC?
15.
15.
Okay, so you
Mistle.
frightened Jasira and Mistle.
Stop.
And
And
Coltar.
Oh, I don't have bees sheet. to
Oh,
roll for
right.
bees.
You do. It's in your journal.
Do I now? Okay.
We'll
I didn't
assume
realize.
bees is not frightened because bees is bees.
And she momentarily, it's not like anything like
Bees.
really like tangibly physical changes, but it's like a mask briefly slips off, and like
Go full
the
Galadriel for a
features
second.
elongate just a little bit, like out of the corner of your eye, and shadow darkness comes in, like shadows come into the eye sockets and stuff, just very momentarily.
Till almost reflexively like turns to a non-existent bartender and is like, she doesn't like it when you cut her off. And then realizes, oh no, this is something that no, bring it back. All right.
Okay.
Every
Coltarn does not
Alright.
reflexively punch Kindle.
everybody in the vehicle now.
I just do you write that or say it?
He writes it down. Yeah,
Alright.
and just holds it up because he's got his own like book. He's got a journal.
Uh,
Everybody in the vehicle now.
on a paper, don't look at it. It eats people.
Kind of intuited that.
Confirming.
And yep, just very casually like get back to the vehicle. All right,
Just
Kendall,
doody-doo.
we've got about 7 minutes before we risk forgetting this thing exists on the page. Get us out of here fast.
So as you get up to the vehicle,
Yeah.
the thing you notice, the heads haven't taken notice because you haven't acted against them. But the thing that you notice is that most of the heads you walk past one and try not to look at it. The long, fleshy necks extend into the ground.
Okay.
And as you look around, it looks like the majority of the damage has been done to the town hall.
Okay.
You can surmise that if this thing has a lair, it is underground and probably under the town hall.
Okay.
Which means shooting it from orbit is not going to be helpful. Unless you also want to wipe the town out.
All right.
Noticing that.
So
writing
shooting
down-
it, so shooting in orbit is going to be helpful, is what you just said.
So noticing that, then
Yeah, no.
On paper.
Till will just put his head in his hands like,
town hall.
fuck. In 7 minutes?
And then Mistle will write down my family ?
Also, Mistle still doesn't get what's going on unless you're still covering
Right.
your ears.
Right.
Write down exit town.
Well,
Get earbuds.
Make another
get
wisdom save, Mistle.
earplugs.
okay. Hold on, I've got these sheet. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, you're still
18.
good for now.
Okay.
Yep.
Exit
Mhm.
town.
But you're
get
gonna be making
earplugs.
constant wisdom
Come
saves
back.
until you either fail or cover your ears again.
Okay, I'm sorry. What did you say or write, Coltarn?
I just wrote down exit town. Get earplugs. Come back.
Thumbs up. Let's move. And yes, this is probably why writing down. Yes,
As
Mistle,
everybody-
this is probably why your family left. We will, once we fix this thing, we'll find them.
Maybe the forest is safe.
We just need to get outside town as quickly as possible so that we can do that.
As everybody's frantically writing, Kendall
Mhm.
comes and goes, does anybody have a mimosa?
Amazing.
I write down the Hydra drank them all.
I know what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it.
That bitch.
Yep, let's go get in the car. Let's drive the fuck out of here.
All right. We're on A mission for earplugs.
Let's go to the next town over.
Right?
Yeah, so the driving that we saw before, that was safe driving.
Amazing.
As
This is Kendall recklessly getting the fuck out of Dodge.
But is she still texting as she's driving now?
Surprisingly not.
Okay.
as Kendall just completely lead foots this thing and does not let up.
Once we're
Like, I'm not gonna lie, and there is probably some amount of suspension damage.
Roll me a drive
because-
check real quick
Okay,
I
with your dex.
Don't make me fix. Don't make me fix.
Dex
this
with
car.
proficiency.
Yeah, with proficiency.
All right.
I will just passing notes back and forth with Till. Can I get a sense of if y'all figured out where this effect ends?
Yeah, Till will show you the little map that we drew for
This
the
is
data.
functionally the same, the same number, because my dex and my intelligence are the same.
And then he'll put a little footnote in.
Yeah,
Hell
Kendall just fucking floors it.
I'll put a little
Fucking
footnote in.
Formula One driver.
We didn't. I don't know if that is outside of range of the song, but this is when we started noticing the imagery changing. We did not remember having seen it.
Mistel,
At
do you
that
cover
time.
your ears for the drive out since you're
Since everyone else is deaf or covering their ears, yeah, she'll do it.
yeah, so you don't have to make another wisdom save.
Oh, that's right. I'm driving deaf.
Yup.
I mean, on these roads, that won't be a problem.
I was going to say,
That's true.
Not a ton of traffic, I don't think.
So by the time the 10 minutes comes out and the potion of deafness wears off and Kendall, you begin to hear ringing return to your ears as your hearing slowly returns. You are more than 10 miles away, so you do not need to make wisdom saves and can remember all that you have heard and seen.
All right.
I'm just gonna tap the helmet to indicate ears when that time that had been given to me passes.
I think we're good.
Mistel just breaks down and starts crying.
Take the helmet off.
Till reach a
Sorry,
hand out.
I didn't want to risk what might happen if I was allowed myself to hear again.
I understand. That's terrifying. And, Mistel, we will find your family.
Don't
We
worry,
will.
we'll find them.
When you went
We
to the
will.
when you went to the forest, what did you find?
They had apparently recently vacated, the Environs who were local had apparently recently vacated the premises, but they fled with leaving behind a number of things, it seems.
Like the abandoned houses.
But the
were
note,
in
the
town?
note I left told them to go into the town.
As soon as we find some earplugs, my initial plan of getting the Gulnaj Volkir in the air and just blasting it with ship weapons will unfortunately probably not be functional. We will have to directly go back in there to handle whatever this thing is. We just need a little bit of equipment, and then Miss Fairchild will turn this rig right around, and we will kill that thing and get your family a safe
So-
place.
Mr.
And if they left the town, it might have been for a reason, and they might know that
Well,
they should leave.
they-
They shouldn't be there.
The forest is the kind of environment they would want to live in. That's why they probably weren't in the town, but it looked like they were hiding from something or running from something.
Then they probably know not to just go into town. It'll be fine.
Most likely, considering the records that we had that I was able to find that indicated that there were more people a week ago. How long has the data from this been corrupt as far as the
Several months.
several months? Okay, so I saw it
Which explains why some of those houses look more dilapidated than others.
Yeah, I saw it eating citizens as we went into the tavern. Most likely, your people are too small to be an appetizing snack. So either they left of their own accord to get away from it, or they know something's wrong and just left. They shouldn't be in an if they have been ignored because of their size, they shouldn't be in any danger even if they do go in. If they haven't been, the quicker we deal with it, the sooner they'll be safe. Yes. My current thought is it seemed as if it was as if it was under the city, under the town. My current thought is go to the nearest town over, get whatever we can to hamper our ability to hear, go back, find the largest underground chamber possible, probably under the town hall, find its body and kill it.
I really wish I could remember everything that you're talking about, but it sounds horrifying, Jasira says.
There's a big multi-headed monster back there in the town. It makes noise that makes you forget it exists, apparently, or makes it invisible or something.
So a false Hydra, then.
Yes.
Grabs the book back from Coltar and starts flipping through.
There's no information on that, I say as I call the Core Adventurers Guild.
You call the Core Adventurers League.
League.
And why did I forget my own character's name? The bartender.
Vesh.
Vesh picks up as he hello, you've reached the Core Adventurers League.
Vesh, this is Coltar of the Dust Knights.
Ah, good to hear from you.
We have information and also a request for more information.
All right.
We've determined the source of the problem with the town. Oh, fuck, I've already forgotten the name. He says as he flips to his 50 images on his phone.
When you looking at the phone now, the sign is completely destroyed.
Yeah, Riesveld is the name of the town that went missing in data.
All right.
It seems that they've acquired an infestation of a false Hydra, some sort of aberrant beast. We need any information you might have as for methods of killing it. It seems that it's erasing any data that comes out of the town, mostly because it's also erasing the town, though in a way that it makes the citizenry forget. It's emitting some sort of sound that makes you forget it exists and makes you forget anything that it eats exists, presumably. And it has been eating.
The false Hydra is not supposed to exist. That's a creature of myth.
Well, do we have any mythological tales of heroes killing it?
Yes, I can pull up what I can find. Hang on.
Thank you.
And he will. I'll contact you later.
All right. So they're looking it up. They're looking up information in the at the.
I mean, I can tell you what I know. Jasira says.
Please do.
The false Hydra, according to myth, is an abomination of Godsblood, which is to say the essence of a divine being. They are Godsblood as a concept is it's a term for what makes up a god. Because gods aren't people the way we identify them as. They don't really bleed, but they have essence, something that makes them. And God's blood was rumored to be not only the stuff that makes up gods, but a resource that the precursors could wield for all sorts of powerful creation and dangerous abilities. Supposedly a false Hydra is an amalgamation of lies and deceit given power by God's blood. They are a thing that exists to lie and eat. They originate supposedly when they first form, they're just masses of flesh in the ground that germinate on lies, fear, and confusion until it grows large enough to feed on people and all of the deceptions and lies they have lived in their lives. Its song, while it sings, it exists in your blind spot. It uses its song to feed and keep growing unnoticed. It absorbs the basic memories and knowledge of everything that it eats, including its sheer existence. Anything it eats is forgotten. Although you can't really erase something like that on such a large scale, there are things left. Spouses who have had their significant other eaten by a false hydra weep for reasons they don't know, for a husband they don't remember.
Well, that's good news.
It's suggested that a false hydra might be visible in mirrors due to the added degree of separation that it creates. If you can't block your hearing permanently, you can try and fight it via mirrors, which is how heroes of old did it.
Like the Medusa.
Sort of.
All right. Stock up on earplugs and hand mirrors.
Well, if we have the earplugs, we won't need the hand mirrors, theoretically.
Redundancies. Every good ship needs redundancies.
Well, if we lose-
Wait, so correct me if I'm wrong, but so like its song makes people forget,
Yes.
and eating things we forget. So even though we can't hear the song, what if we just silence it?
I mean, if you can silence its song, obviously it wouldn't be able to affect people. But it's got many heads for that reason, and
yes,
they're probably spread out and hard to silence all at once.
they are spread out, it looked like, at least.
But silence would
Oh.
be, yeah, that's a thing to pursue in this whole
Honestly,
thing.
though,
Absolutely, Miss Fairchild.
Gestures that exosuit, environmental suits with the sound dampened, both protective and that way we don't have to worry about things falling out of ears.
Yeah, but then we can't hear.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be doing this deaf one way or the other. Otherwise, we won't be fighting it at all because after a matter of time, we'll forget it exists.
The problem with mirrors, as far as I can tell, would be still remembering the creature, right?
Well, theoretically, if you don't break the ability to see it, even if it tries to make you forget, then you'll see it again and just remember that you need to fight it. But yes, it sounds like it'll be a very difficult thing because if its song works its way into your mind once you're aware of it again, you forget it. And unless you're staring at the mirror and see it when it tries to make you forget, then you might forget why you're fighting.
All right.
If we can solidify some environmental suits, we could at least have intersuit communication. Just nothing external. So we could talk amongst ourselves, but not hear anything outside. That would potentially limit some of the disadvantage, just by keeping each other abreast of what we're all seeing from different vantage points.
Potentially, yes. If wearing sealed suits is something that any of you are capable of without it impeding your various capabilities. But on the other hand, this thing is eating people on the daily, and it's probably going to be a lot faster if we can just get a couple sets of earplugs and some duct tape.
Did anyone get a count of how many heads it has?
Can I make a retroactive
I was
trying
looking
to
at
have
it,
counted
I
check?
was looking at it for a while. Do I know how many heads it has?
Go ahead and roll me perception checks.
With
Just for
advantage because I had
retroactive.
my enhanced ability on at the time?
Yeah, go ahead.
27.
14.
It had 4 heads.
We had a quartet.
4 that I could count as well.
The longer we let it live, the more chance it has to grow more heads.
All right. Well, I would recommend. Is there any sort of like tactical analysis Till could do on? I mean, we've only seen 4 separate heads. Like, do we have any chance at this? Just going back in with some earplugs?
Roll me an intelligence. What do you think would be? Roll me. Trying to think what would be an analysis skill.
I'm going to.
It would just be straight intelligence because he's not proficient
roll
in
me it,
anything
yeah.
anyway.
Wait a minute. Is
No fucking idea.
No clue.
Right.
Jeremy?
is this thing native to here?
It's an
No,
aberration. It's an aberration.
it shouldn't even exist. It's never native to anything.
It's not part of this dimension.
If anything, it's not part of any dimension.
Yeah,
I don't think you can banish it. Is what you're thinking.
I mean, I
Unless it-
can't banish it.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it'll stay gone. Is what I mean.
Okay, then I go to my other plan.
Was what?
I polymorph it,
How long does that last?
and then we shoot it in this space.
How long does that last?
A minute.
An hour.
Is it an hour? Is it an hour? Okay.
I mean,
We bring the ship in.
that's not a bad idea.
We would need to get
I mean-
we would need to get clearance from the planetary government.
Well, we don't have to shoot it in this space. We can shoot it into a volcano or.
For quick
Are
travel
there nearby
to,
volcanoes?
for
Oh.
quick travel to some place where we could throw it, we would need to get clearance to fly the ship in.
Now, as a pilot, if we were able to land the ship somewhere near the town, which we already established is a dicey proposition at best because there's not really docking out here, which is why we drove in the first place. Can Till try and make a quick estimate of could we, if we polymorph this thing, could we conceivably get it in? Could we get it off planet and vent it out an airlock within an hour?
That strongly depends.
Okay.
Keep in mind.
It also requires it to fail the polymorph.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. This is. We should have a plan B just in case, because I get one shot at this. And then we have to. If that's our only plan, then we have to leave.
We'll have
for
a
a
plan
day.
2. B implies that we can only formulate 26 plans.
We should also make plans quickly because, from what I remember of stories, once it consumes enough of the town that it can no longer sustain itself, it'll burrow to the nearest settlement to start eating again.
Oh boy! All right,
let's
Miss
go.
Fairchild, how close are we to the next town where we can buy earplugs?
There's a gas station nearby. You can probably get earplugs there.
There,
About
going.
30 seconds.
Fantastic. What are we going to do with bees during this?
We turn and assuming that my 24 drive wasn't safe, does
20
that perfect like skid like turn into a parking spot like right disturbingly right next to the gasoline pumps.
Right.
Oh yeah, you like perfect like spin turn and stop it with the gas the fuel tank aligned with the pump.
Yep.
Right.
Fill up while we're here.
Right. Right. Colton, grab what we need. Till jumps out to start gassing up the vehicle. Miss Strida, do you have the ability to deafen bees or just at all? Again,
has a suit.
Yeah, but it is not sealable.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, one that they could all
isn't
go
it-
into.
Isn't it explicitly sealable because we've done that before?
They can environment seal themselves using their materials. It's
Yeah.
not quite the same and is
I
not
was
built
gonna
for
say-
blocking sound.
I was going to say, I do
Yeah.
not think, right. I do not think any.
Bees may have to sit this one out.
And so, as you go to buy earplugs, which I will say are like 2 credits each.
And I go to
Done.
buy a Slurpee and some red vines. We're
And
at a
so-
convenience store.
No, that's fair.
As you go to do that, that is where we will end for the week. You have a week to try and figure out how to fight a false Hydra.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.